can't touch this. You can't touch this.
When Mom was my age, Bill Clinton was the President of the United States. I don't know how that happened, but he was. And Al Gore was his Vice President. Tonya Harding from Oregon won the National Figure Skating Championship, but they stripped her of that title after an attack on her rival Nancy Kerrigan. The most popular TV shows at that time were ER, Home Improvement, Seinfeld, NYPD Blue, and Friends. A quote from 1994 is, "My mama always said that life is like a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get." And that was Tom Hanks from Forrest Gump.
Hi there, happy birthday. Well, when you were my age, we both know that wasn't very long ago. That was when George Bush Sr. became President of the United States. And because you were my age, you probably don't care about this, but Nintendo began selling the Game Boy at the same time. And Tetris and Sega Genesis and Polly Pocket toys were first on the market. Like we cared, huh? The most popular TV shows were The Cosby Show, Roseanne, and Cheers, and Growing Pains, and America's Funniest Home Videos, The Golden Girls, 60 Minutes, and The Wonder Years. Now they're the famous quotes from 1989. "If you build it, it will come." Obviously that's from Field of Dreams. It keeps on going and going and going. That was when the Energizer Bunny first started his little thing, his little march.
And I love the taste of your fresh brewed coffee. Thanks, but it's not fresh brewed. It's new Trace.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going and going.
And cotton, it's the fabric of our lives. I'm sure you remember that one. Anyway, hope you have a great birthday.
When Grandma was my age, she invented the internet. Or at least hypertext was introduced for linking on the internet. Lyndon B. Johnson introduced Medicare, and he expanded his war on poverty, or war on prosperity, right, Grandma? The first TGI Fridays was opened. And popular TV shows included The Monkees, Brady Bunch, Doctor Who, Gilligan's Island, I Dream of Jeannie, Columbo, Get Smart, Green Acres, The Addams Family, and Bewitched. The quote from 1965 is "Sorry about that, Chief," from Get Smart.
When Grandma was my age, fashions changed as men's hair grew longer and women's skirts got shorter, and the miniskirt made its first appearance. Popular games were Operation, Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and Mystery Date. Popular films included Mary Poppins, The Sound of Music, Goldfinger, and My Fair Lady, not with Julie Andrews, but starring Audrey Hepburn. Quote from 1965, "Caution, cigarette smoking may be hazardous to your health."
I remember back when Grandma was my age. The lava lamp, the game of Mousetrap, and Easy Bake Ovens made their first appearances back then. Elizabeth Taylor was the first actress to earn $1 million for a single film, playing Cleopatra. Martin Luther King gave his "I Have a Dream" speech.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Lots of things were going on. Popular TV shows included like the Andy Griffith Show. We used to watch that all the time back then. Mr. Ed, The Avengers, Bonanza. And a quote from 1963, "Oh, I wish I were an Oscar Mayer wiener." We used to all sing that. That is what I truly want to be.
Oh, I'd love to be an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I'd really like to be. 'Cause if I were an Oscar Mayer wiener, everyone would be in love with me.
When Grandma was my age, the first Walmart store, the first Target store, the first Kmart store opened, as did the first Tobacco Bell, whatever that is. The Beatles released their first record.
Love, love me do. You know I love you. I'll always be true. So please, love me do. Oh, love me do.
There were many popular tunes that year. The Lion Sleeps Tonight, The Twist, Duke of Earl, Johnny Angel, Break It Up Is Hard to Do. Isn't that true? The Locomotion, Sherry, Monster Mash, He's a Rebel, and Big Girls Don't Cry, just to name a few. On TV, The Dick Van Dyke Show and Beverly Hillbillies were popular, and Johnny Carson began as presenter for The Tonight Show.
I'm going to tell you, without me, your show tonight would have been nothing.
The first computer video game, Space War, was invented, and audio cassettes were invented. Some quotes from 1962, Bond, James Bond. From Sean Connery in Dr. No. That's it for me. Bye.
Round, round, get around, I get around, yeah, get around.
When Grandma was my age, slip and slide water slides and trolls first appeared. Ibuprofen was introduced to the public. Pampers disposable diapers were available for the first time. Popular films in that year included West Side Story, The Parent Trap, The Absent-Minded Professor, 101 Dalmatians, and Breakfast at Tiffany's. And here's a couple quotes from 1961. Yabba Dabba Doo by Fred Flintstone. And ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country, from President John F. Kennedy.
When Grandma was my age, the hula hoop was introduced, and over 100 million were sold. People went to the movies to see South Pacific, Gigi, and Vertigo. The Broadway musical My Fair Lady opened in London, with Rex Harrison as Professor Higgins and Julie Andrews playing Eliza Doolittle. Popular singers included Elvis Presley, Pat Boone, Billie Holiday, Frank Sinatra, the Everly Brothers, and Ella Fitzgerald. Quote from 1958, "Look, Ma, no cavities."
Grandma was my age. Mr. Clean, Legos, skateboards, and the American Express car were introduced. Popular TV shows included Gunsmoke, Wagon Trail, The Ed Sullivan Show, The Jack Benny Show, and Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Quote from 1958 by Dwight D. Eisenhower, "It's not necessarily the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog."
When Grandma was my age, dream pets, sea monkeys, flying saucers first came out. The Soviet Union launched the first space satellite, Sputnik 1. People were reading The Cat in the Hat by Dr. Seuss. Popular films included 10 Commandments, Around the World in 80 Days, and 12 Angry Men. A quote from 1957, Life is what happens to us while we are making other plans.
When Grandma was my age, Matchbox Cars and Yahtzee first appeared. Elvis Presley began his music career. Marilyn Monroe married Joe DiMaggio. On the Waterfront won the Oscar for Best Picture. Other popular films included White Christmas, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And the NBC's Tonight Show first aired. Gas cost 29 cents, and the words "Under God" were added to the Pledge of Allegiance. Quotes from 1954. Hey kids, what time is it? It's howdy doody time.
What time is it, kids?
And melts in your mouth, not in your hands. M&M's.
When Grandma was my age, Mr. Potato Head, Slinky Dog, and Pez candy dispensers first came on the scene. Kentucky Fried Chicken first franchise opened. The Diary of Anne Frank was published. Popular films included The African Queen, Greatest Show on Earth, and Singing in the Rain. I Love Lucy was the most popular show on TV. Famous quotes from 1952 were "Lucy, I'm Home" by Ricky Ricardo and "They're Great" by Tony the Tiger.
Well,
When Grandma was my age, Silly Putty, Candyland, Clue, and Wind-Up Clacking Teeth first made their appearance. The first Polaroid camera sold for $89.95. RCA perfected a system for broadcasting color television. 45 RPM discs, also known as 45s, were introduced. The biggest Broadway hits of the year were Roger and Hammerstein's South Pacific and Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman. The song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, first came out, and thanks to the Brooks Brothers, men started wearing Argyle socks. The quote from 1949 is, "Beep beep," by the Roadrunner.
When great-grandma was my age, the Slinky was invented. Peter Spencer accidentally discovered that microwaves could heat food, which led him to invent the microwave oven. Quotes from 1945. Happiness is not achieved by the conscious pursuit of happiness. It is generally a byproduct of other activities. Who's on first?
You know the guy's names on the baseball team? Well, go ahead. Who's on first? Yes. I mean the guy's name. Who? The guy playing first. Who? The guy playing first base. Who? The guy on first base. Who is on first? What are you asking me for? I don't know.
I'm Chiquita Banana, and I've come to say bananas have to ripen in a certain way.
I'm Chiquita Banana, and I've come to say bananas have to ripen in a certain way. And when they're flecked with brown and have a golden hue, bananas taste the best and are the best for you.
When great-grandma was my age, the movie that won the Oscar for Best Film was Going My Way.
Would you like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a mule?
Sunscreen was invented in the USA by Benjamin Green. He was trying to invent something to protect soldiers in the World War II from sunburn. He then went on to create the Coppertone Company, and the rest, as they say, is history. A quote from 1944, "Only you can prevent forest fires." When great-grandma was my age, instant coffee and duct tape were first introduced. Little golden books first came out. People started working their victory gardens so U.S. troops would have more food for the war. Car makers switched from making cars to making war materials. U.S. gas rationing went into effect, 3 gallons per week. Popular films included Casablanca, Bambi, Road to Morocco, and Holiday Inn. Quote from 1942. Here's looking at you, kid.
Here's looking at you, kid.
When great-grandma was my age, the helicopter was invented. The Viewmaster toy came out. NBC broadcasted its first black and white television images. Many great movies were released. The Little Princess, Gone with the Wind, and The Wizard of Oz. People were reading Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath. Batman first appeared in comic books. Superman first appeared the year before, in 1938. Quote from 1939. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the earth.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I don't want French fried potatoes, red ripe tomatoes.
When Great Grandma was my age, people was reading books like Gone with the Wind, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Also singing music named Popular.
Popular?
Yeah. I quote from 1936. Between two evils, I take the one I never tried before. By Weymouth and Twilight Annie. Bye! When Great Grandma was Sarah's age, Social Security was enacted in the U.S. Parker Brothers first released the game
Monopoly.
Monopoly. The Ritz cracker, crackers with the taste of affordable luxury, started selling nationwide for 19 cents a box. 19 cents a box. Quote from 1935. The breakfast of champions. Louder. The breakfast of champions. The breakfast of champions.
Say it's only a paper moon.
When Great Grandma was Claire's age, the cheeseburger was created. Donald Duck appeared in his first cartoon, and the largest pearl ever discovered, the Pearl of Lao Tzu, was found, weighing in at just over 14 pounds, about the size of Claire, well, a little smaller. The quote from 1934, "When you care enough to send the very best," from Hallmark Cards.
My mama done told me when I was in need.
When Great Grandma was my age, the original film version of King Kong premiered, starring Far Ray. Construction began on the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. The first drive-in movie theater opened in New Jersey. Also, the 3M company marketed Scotch tape. Ha! Quote from 1933, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." From Franklin Delano Roosevelt.